everyone, Miss GoElectric here. Today I'm in Franklin, Tennessee, and you might be wondering why I'm here. And it actually all started in 1958 when International Harvester, a company that made tractors like the one that you see right behind me, started a brand called Scout. And that company continued to thrive until about 1980. And unfortunately, with the gas crisis and labor issues, the brand shuttered. And a few years ago, Volkswagen Group acquired the brand and has been working on resurrecting it and reimagining it as an EV brand. Today, they're gonna reveal two concepts, an SUV and a pickup truck, but they have a full list of activities that we are gonna take part in. Let's check out what they have going on here and learn a lot more about what they plan to do with the Scout brand. The Scout marketing team understands the importance of contextualizing the brand. They've carefully orchestrated a packed schedule from 9 a.m. to almost midnight with hundreds of media members in attendance. Scout owners from around the country joined us to display their vehicles, host trail rides, and share their stories. Scout's heritage is a brand awareness tailwind, especially when reaching truck and SUV buyers aged 40 and up. Between 1960 and 1980, Scout delivered over 500,000 rugged trucks and SUVs. Clean sheet EV startups like Rivian, Tesla, and Lucid cannot wield the persuasive power of nostalgia and credibility like an established brand. All right, well, I have found a seat in between Jason and Dale, which is a father-son pair, and from what I see behind me, you have a pretty amazing vehicle. You are proud owners of a Scout too, and there's some special surprise story behind this vehicle, isn't there?
Yes, my dad, Dale, he bought this Scout new in 1979. I was about 8 years old when he bought it. It was a family vehicle. We took all over the United States on family vacations. We went to New York City, traveled all over the state, our home state of West Virginia, trout fishing, went to all over the southeastern United States, Alabama. It was just a vehicle that my dad used on our farm. He gave it to me when I was in high school. In 1988, I drove it through 1993, clear through college. And I'd always felt like I wanted to restore it and never quite got to that point. Over the years, I'd owned several other Scouts, and I come up with one of my own. My son, Luke, he had come up with one, and I stepped outside of my house one day and I saw my dad's Scout sitting there that he'd given to me all those years before, and I said, I'm going to get Dad his Scout back. I got several people involved with me that got in on the plan to surprise my dad with the restoration. In 2023 at the Scout National Show, John Glancy worked with me, and we surprised my dad and gave it back to him.
What is the thing that you are looking most forward to in the transition to electrification?
Well, I think the most important thing is the powertrain system. Make sure it can hold up to what all they expect out of it.
The beating?
Yeah, I mean, they're going to beat on them. I mean, I use that vehicle. I've had hay out of it. And I had it hung up more times than you count. Put it over in the creek one time. And the thing would pull itself out most of the time. I mean, it's tough, the powertrain and everything. And so that's my main thing. You can always rebuild the body, but the powertrain is hard to take care of.
Be solid, right?
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for spending some time with us today, and we cannot wait to see what the next generation holds, and we appreciate you bringing back your precious vintage version you have here. So
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, I have stopped by another booth here, and Joe, this is actually electric, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am, it is. One of the things that I wanted to do is keep the original intent of the car. So it actually drives like a classic car. I can stick shift through first, second, third gear, just like you're driving an old classic car, except it's 100% electric. This only has about 80 miles of range because I just drive it around town.
So it seems like a big undertaking, and it doesn't look like it was just something that was plopped in there. So can you explain exactly how you went about this?
Yeah, I worked with a friend now, but a custom electric vehicle shop, took 7 Tesla batteries, put it in the engine block, keep the original kind of drivability of the car.
What do you think it means for Scout to come back as a brand with electrification as its primary powertrain?
Kind of what I was doing, right? Bringing a classic vehicle and bringing it into the future. I think it's going to be great for the community. I think it's going to be great for the future of Scout. I mean, you look around the parking lot today, there's a lot of different uses for Scouts. As long as they were able to do that, I think that they're going to be able to win with their vehicle today.
Well, thanks for taking some time to speak with us, Joe. It's pretty cool what you got here, and enjoy the rest of the day.
Appreciate you too. Have a good day.
It is hard to argue with the wholesome authenticity of the capable blue-collar working vehicles which had been originally manufactured by a farm equipment company. While other EV automakers are leaning into futurism, autonomy, luxury, and performance, Scout has chosen to remain firmly anchored in beefy utilitarian Americana. After International Harvester stopped producing Scout vehicles, the brand and its intellectual property ended up with Navistar. Volkswagen acquired Navistar for $3.7 billion back in 2020. 2 years later, Volkswagen's North American CEO, Scott Keogh, stepped down from that role and became the CEO of the newly formed Independent Scout Motors Incorporated, which had been formed in the state of Delaware. At the time, Herbert Diess, global CEO of Volkswagen Group, said the creation of Scout will be pivotal in seizing the historic market opportunities in the U.S., taking our growth strategy in the region to the next level. It is important to distinguish Scout's arrangement from VW subsidiaries such as Porsche, Audi, Lamborghini, and Bentley. Scout's independence allows it to operate outside of Volkswagen's dealership franchise agreements. That means they can offer fixed pricing and a 10-minute online transaction with no middleman. Ford attempted to negotiate something similar with their franchisees, but the powerful dealer groups squashed their Model E initiative. If Scout is able to move ahead with a direct-to-consumer model, we can reasonably expect other legacy automakers to back independent startups. Scout is not subject to existing Volkswagen labor agreements, such as the unionization of Volkswagen's ID4 plant in Chattanooga, Tennessee. General Motors and Ford have avoided production inefficiencies associated with the United Auto Workers Union by manufacturing their highest volume EVs in Mexico. Volkswagen's financial health has been in the news recently. Back in September of 2024, Volkswagen's global chief financial officer, Arno Anslitz, said, "We have been spending more money at the brand than we earn for some time now. That doesn't go well in the long term. If we carry on like this, we won't succeed in the transformation." He added that the company has a year, maybe 2 years, to turn things around. From my perspective, VW's recent investments into new EV companies like Scout, Xpeng, and Rivian are life rafts. Today, Volkswagen Group is Scout's sole shareholder, but it's reasonable to expect additional investors to participate at some point. That might eventually include a public offering, as we've seen modeled by Geely's EV sub-brands Lotus and Polestar. Along with billions of investment dollars, Volkswagen's parts bin, factory construction expertise, and service network could all be advantages for Scout compared to other EV startups. Scout's existing lineup is packed with experienced leaders who have migrated from Volkswagen. Of course, top talent from other brands like Ford, GM, and Rivian also occupy the ranks. Let's get back to the media day in Tennessee. After checking out the vintage Scouts, there were several outdoor activities on our schedule designed to embrace the brand's outdoor and working spirit. Mine included woodworking by the pond, where I took in some fresh air and created a Miss GoElectric mosaic. Next, I joined a guided hike throughout the working farm's grounds, exploring woodlands, an apiary, and orchards. After that, we boarded a convoy of shuttle vans to the top of a nearby ridge called Scout Summit. Before the presentation, there was time to familiarize ourselves with the brand's timeline. All right, well, that was a fun day full of activities, but now it's time for the unveiling, so let's head inside and see the concepts for the first time in real life. As the sun set, the live broadcast kicked off with a few words from CEO Scott Keogh. Before long, the Terra pickup truck and Traveler SUV production intent concept vehicles rolled out. Lead designer Chris Benjamin explained how he and his team approached a fresh take on Scout's iconic design language. Chris came from Stellantis, where he headed up interior design. Previously, he worked with Volvo, BMW, and Daimler as well. Attendees responded favorably when he pointed out conventional mechanical door handles and an abundance of buttons and knobs inside both models. I even noticed the steering wheel had a start button mounted on it and plenty of grab handles for a tactile feel. When he revealed that the front seat could be optioned with a center console or a 3-person bench seat, the audience was delighted. With this configuration, both can carry up to 6 passengers. Materials inside the cabins include hempwood, textured leather, and plaid-inspired fabrics. There's also a retracting work tray in front of the passenger, and the trim around the dash acts as a shelf to hold items like a phone or tablet. The display configuration strongly resembles Rivian's layout right down to the user interface. The company said Scout's vehicle software will be built upon a modern zonal architecture, which will enable over-the-air updates and remote diagnostics. I anticipate news related to further cooperation between Scout and Rivian later next year, or in 2026. The center screen features a clever toggle icon which optimizes the layout for passenger or driver control. Passengers also have their own volume knob, while the driver has a scroll wheel on the steering wheel for that function. These efforts to improve technology sharing for passengers are part of an effort Scout calls Community UX. Details on technology, cameras, app functionality, and advanced driver assistance features were not provided. The Traveler SUV concept was equipped with the optional cabana top retractable fabric roof. A glass roof will also be an option. Early on, Rivian talked about a removable roof, but it has not yet come to fruition. The only electric competitor today with a removable top is the GMC Hummer EV. Scout's Terra pickup truck will deliver some of those vibes thanks to a retractable rear window. Scout has not yet provided information related to battery chemistry or format. They have projected an all-electric range of about 350 miles, with a motor on each axle. The four-wheel drive system is expected to output 1,000 pound-feet of torque, enabling a 3.5-second 0 to 60 mile per hour time. Both Scout models will have a solid rear axle and locking front and rear differentials. The pickup is projected to have a towing capacity of 10,000 pounds, while the SUV projection is closer to 7,000 pounds. Both will carry a 2,000-pound payload. Ground clearance is just shy of 12 inches, and they'll ride on 35-inch tires. The vehicle will include a front sway bar disconnect, and suspension options will include air springs with active damping. The off-road controls are mounted to the headliner. They'll feature 800-volt architecture with up to 350 kilowatt charging speeds, bidirectional charging, and North American charging standard ports as standard. The exportable power will include several 120-volt outlets and USB-C ports near the NAX port, frunk, and tailgate, with a 240-volt outlet in the back of the Terra. In previous interviews, leadership mentioned available solar charging, rear-wheel steering, and the pickup bed being user-removable. None of that was confirmed at the concept unveiling, but we'd expect those details to come out when initial production engineering has been finalized. Each vehicle is being offered with an optional Harvester range extender, which replaces some of the battery modules with a small combustion engine. This configuration is known as a series hybrid. The generator can convert gasoline to electricity for a total range of about 500 miles. Both Scouts are based upon a steel body frame construction. The overall length is 10 inches greater than a Rivian R1T and about 2 inches shorter than the Ford F-150 Lightning. The Terra has a 5.5-foot bed with a side step and handles on each side to improve access. The pickup also offers an underbody spare tire carrier for sizes up to 33 inches and an optional in-bed tire carrier for the 35-inch all-terrain tires. The Traveler SUV is about 7 inches longer than the Rivian R1S. Rear cargo space is accessed through a split tailgate. Both models offer front trunk storage and a retractable bench seat. The Traveler has a swing-out spare tire mount that can accommodate a 35-inch tire. Scout showed images and examples of their vehicles interfaced with accessories including serious work equipment like a hay bale spike, snowplow, and winch system, along with lifestyle gear like lights, racks, bags, bins, and rails. There are buttons to the left of the steering wheel for built-in auxiliary switches for factory accessories too. The bumpers and hood have built-in rope holes and bars to maximize utility and mount more equipment. The Terra and Traveler are scheduled to hit the market in 2027 with a starting price under $60,000. They mentioned the opportunity for incentives to bring the price even lower, suggesting the vehicles will qualify for the federal tax incentive of up to $7,500 or other state incentives. After we got a good look at the concept vehicles, we were headed back down to the farm for a 45-minute meeting with a few Scout team members who are in charge of construction at Scout's Blythewood, South Carolina production facility. They showed us recent drone footage of the progress on buildings, which should one day support more than 200,000 units of annual production. In 2023, Americans purchased over 12 million trucks and SUVs. Scout's projected annual maximum production of about 230,000 vehicles would represent less than 2% of the U.S. market. The Scout team told us that critical automation machinery would be part of the manufacturing process from day one. They went on to explain that a product with higher labor content is more flexible during the early portions of a production ramp. If demand outstrips supply capabilities, they'll introduce additional automation hardware in a sensible fashion. That approach will enable their goal of profitability by the end of the first calendar year. The facility has been designed for mirrored expansion if demand exceeds 230,000 units a year. In its final form, the facility could supply over 400,000 units annually. In one slide, we noticed that a Scout Aristocrat-esque model appears to be part of the production roadmap. If something like that comes to market before electric versions of Ford's Bronco or Jeep's Wrangler, we think they'll sell like hotcakes. In a potentially related note, the Scout team also told us that the Blythewood facility could be used to produce similar products for other brands. After all, Scout Motors Inc. is a business, and they will entertain the idea of contract manufacturing if it's profitable to do so. When the facility is up and running, Scout will employ over 4,000 people. The current headcount is about 700. Recruitment efforts in South Carolina are well underway, including the establishment of training centers and outreach to local high school students who will enter the workforce in 2026. The manufacturing site belongs to the state and totals about 1,600 acres. The plant itself will occupy about 1,100 acres, which leaves plenty of space for Scout suppliers and partners to set up shop next door. Among them will be an upfitting facility where accessories can be added to recent builds. In a fairly common practice, Scout can gain ownership of the property if they meet the negotiated long-term objectives outlined in their deal with the state of South Carolina. I asked if there was room for an experience center along the lines of what BMW offers in nearby Greenville and paralleling the ecological paradise which Elon Musk promised outside of Giga, Texas. The team stopped just shy of confirming that an off-road experience course is in the works. Speaking of user experience, Scout confirmed that 16 cities in the US and Canada will have Scout retail showrooms by launch. About 100 locations are planned by 2032. Scout says their vehicles will be designed for competitive cost of ownership through robust repairability and flexible serviceability. Scout workshops and other retail spaces will be designated to provide test drives, a handshake, and hands-on service when needed. They claimed approximately 80% of repair types will be able to be completed outside of a Scout workshop, whether in a driveway or while adventuring, suggesting there will be access to mobile service. Scout also mentioned they would have a national collision partner network. Reservations are now open for both models with a refundable $100 deposit. All right, so we have seen the Scout, Terra, and Traveler here today, and I think the designs look amazing, and the specifications seem pretty good for today's market. Now, nobody is standing still in this moment, and we have seen battery chemistry is evolving, and a lot of companies are taking a lot of different approaches. But do you think that when this goes into production in 2027, it will still be competitive? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Well, thank you so much for watching this latest video, and until next time, drive, fly, ride. Go electric.